Well, hi folks. Another brief video about the Cub Cadet XLT 1050. Most of these newer tractors, as you know, have a lot of safety features built in. Those are good ideas. I'm not criticizing that in any way. The idea of protecting you from rollover or protecting you from accidental harm with the mower deck, especially when it's running. There are built-in sensors that if you go to get off the seat, not only does the PTO turn off, but also the tractor itself turns off. Now that's good if you have kids, if you're an older person who's a little forgetful maybe, and also if you have land that is very hilly and you've got some steep inclines where there is a potential for rollover danger. And if you're in town, well, this is probably the simplest thing to do no matter what your yard looks like. However, out in the country, and I'm telling you just what I did, I'm not telling you this is advice that you should take, because there's no Cub Cadet dealer that would tell you that either. My previous Cub Cadets did not have all this safety stuff on them. Now, I bought them used, and I'm sure the people who had them before me removed them. I have since, as you know, changed the PTO switch on here because of the garbage electric harness in this thing. I didn't want to go through and replace everything, so I just bypassed everything. But the other issue I've had since I've had the tractor is if I'm working with the tractor, not mowing necessarily, could be hauling things with the dump cart, could be doing other kinds of work where I have to get on and off the tractor regularly. It's a pain because every time you get off, it turns off. So you get in the habit of just turning the mower off when you get a tractor off, when you get off of it, and then when you get back on, you turn it back on again. Start it back up. This is safety, certainly, and I'm not opposed to that, of course. But the issue is, if you're somebody who is doing this a lot with your tractor, number one, you're wearing on the battery quite a bit more because it's having to start over and over again rather than just start once every hour if you're mowing, or every couple hours if you've got a nice long flat yard to mow. And also the starter will wear because it's got to crank it over every time, especially if you're going to crank it over when the engine's hotter. It's harder for the starter to turn the magneto. And as you've seen in this series of videos, I've already replaced the starter on this after a few years. So I was thinking, what can I do to make this easier for myself? Well, the fact of the matter is there is a safety switch connected to the seat. It's some kind of a sensor, I guess, that detects weight. I remember I had a 12 horsepower Cub Cadet, 30-some years ago. And it had the feature that if you came off the seat, the mower deck would turn off, which is a good thing. Well, my son at the time was maybe, I don't know, 8 or 9, something like that. And he was mowing. And he knew how, and I was happy with him doing it. I didn't put him in any dangerous places. Well, he was mowing this one field where it was bumpy. And as he would go over a bump, his body would come up off the seat and the mower deck would turn off. He wasn't falling off or anything. It was just he hit a little bump. And then the deck would turn off. So he was frustrated. After he got a little heavier and older, it didn't do that anymore. But that was just one of the interesting things. But here, if you look, I hope you can see this, right up in here, in the seat, I won't take the seat off to show you, I'll just show you this way. If you can see the sensor, this little gray box there, and then there is a black tube that has the wires and the wiring harness in. So if I want to eliminate the mower from turning off every time I get off the seat, so that I can just leave it idle while I go grab a shovel or have to unload something from the dump cart or whatever, I have to pick something else up from the garden, I needed to disconnect this. And it's not difficult, it's just this little catch here. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. There we go. There. and now this is disconnected, so the tractor will not turn off when I get off the seat. Now they would tell you don't ever do this because now it's dangerous. Well, I'm not worried about that myself because I'm the only one who uses this. There's certainly no children that are using this tractor. If they were, I wouldn't do this. And I don't have a lot of steep inclines to mow that I'm physically worried about tipping the tractor over. So I figure it's still relatively safe. I mean, let's face it. When you had tractors of that era, like that 1958 Alice I have, there weren't those special safety features. And yeah, there were farm accidents, I know, but people had common sense back then. So they weren't always needed. This safety feature, I'll tell you who probably pushed for this the most were the pediatricians and lawyers, because they didn't want children to get hurt, of course, but also the lawyers because they didn't want Cub Cadet to have lawsuits. Because some drunken idiot would, try to get off the tractor when the mower deck was running and chop his toes off, and then try to sue Cub Cadet saying it was their fault. So, at any rate, this is how you remove that if that's something that, well, I won't tell you should do it. I'm saying this is what I did. And it's not instructional, it's just for entertainment purposes. I'm not telling you should do this, of course. But that's a way to kind of bypass that. And it's made it a whole lot easier for me. I don't need to tax my battery or my starter as much anymore. And the truth of the matter is, when the mower deck is running, I'm always in the seat. Even though I bypass the safety switches with the PTO on here, I never get off the tractor when the power takeoff is running, with the mower deck is running, never. And with any other tractor, even if you disconnected this seat thing, it would still probably wouldn't work. But if there was some other way that you could disconnect the seat but not the PTO, I'm sure that's doable too. I'm just trying to make it more user-friendly, not make it more dangerous necessarily, but just something more practical and less costly as far as having to replace parts. So, hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. Again, this is just what I did. I'm not telling you this is what you should do. But thank you for watching our channel. Thank you for supporting us. Please hit like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell. You know the drill, as we seek to live out in the country on a shoestring.